What is up, everybody? Another abrupt
Oh.
ending of the countdown because I still haven't fixed it. Welcome to the Football Boot Hour here on the Boot Wizard channel with me, James, my co-host as always, Andrew from the Lockhart Boot Blog, and we are joined today by a very special guest, Adam from All Football Everything, something we've been trying to work on for a couple of weeks, and finally we have all managed to come together and get that going. So today, of course, we're going to be talking about the new Phantoms. I dropped my video like half an hour ago on those, so I'm going to be talking about that. Andrew's got something pretty special to show us as well, I believe. But first, before we get into all of that, get your questions for all of us, for Adam, into the chat. But first, Adam, could you introduce yourself, please? Your page, All Football Everything. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so AFE_football is the page. It's across all platforms. Obviously, what you see on there is a lot of training. That's the focus, or it started out as the focus, but it has blossomed into so much more that you don't see online. So I highly suggest you kind of go through all platforms, reach out. I have a great team around me now, and taking on a lot of different ventures. So if you're a player and you want help in any way, it doesn't have to be where I reside or where we travel to. I'm very confident we will be able to help in some way.
Excellent. So that's AFE_football across all platforms, and do go and check all the platforms out. Some really fantastic content, both helpful and also just entertaining, I find.
I appreciate that.
So definitely go and check
I have
that
actually
out. The chat.
I have
Sorry,
actually talked to you previously, but you won't remember. It was like 10 years ago. Y'all sent an email.
Oh my!
Y'all sent an email to the store I was working at, looking for a sponsor.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I asked, and the upper management was just so old school, and they're like, "Why would we give stuff to people on Instagram? What does that do for us?" And I was just like, "Well, you never know what will happen." But yeah.
Fast forward 10 years. Wow,
Seriously.
what a small world.
Yeah. Fast forward 10 years and everyone's chasing the people on Instagram to be like, "Here, look, I can give you things. Like, show my stuff."
And funny story, that's probably back then, that was the original account, and it wasn't AFE_football. It was _footballism.
Yes.
And that was a much more product focused page that we started, and that was more so when I was in my playing career. So it was like something to fill time, and that it was like, oh, we could get free stuff. Like if we build this up, we're just gonna get some free stuff, and it's wow. We're small. I mean, the football world is small, but
it's not as big as people think.
No.
Exactly, like content creators, especially in boots and things like that, is very, very small. Speaking of small, the chat is here. Speaking of our small world, Matt is in the house. Welcome, Rich, Proper Boots, Chris's Footy Kicks, all members have joined us. We will be doing a little members only chat at the end of the podcast as usual. So you'll hopefully get about, I say 15 minutes every week and it balloons, but at least 15 minutes. Farfetched Football has joined us. Eric, Dandy, Alistair, Jesus Football, Zaya Z, and Ollie from the OC Boot Blog have all joined us, and Clippy's Collection has joined us as well after forcing his girlfriend to drive so that he could listen and watch the podcast at the same time. He's being a passenger princess right now, so thank you for joining us, Clippy. But with that in mind, let's get into what we're going to be talking about this week, all the good stuff. And we'll start with what we've been wearing, kind of what we've picked up. And Andrew, I think you are a fantastic place to start here because I believe you've got some interesting stuff to show us.
Yeah.
There it is.
So these showed up. I could have gone to my local and picked these up, but decided not to. Just because I knew I had a pair on the way. So these are really nice. It's still one of the best leather boots on the market, easily, but it's no longer the best, I don't think. And
really
interesting.
I don't think that's just because, like, I don't know if you know, I work with Adler, so obviously I was going to shout these out. I always have to get my. But
Get the Adler, the
I don't
Adler
even
shout
think
in.
this is the best Mizuno leather boot anymore. Not the best one that's released this year.
Tell me more.
I forgot to bring it in here. It's the Morelia. It is the
Proto?
Morelia Proto. That black.
That makes sense.
One. That one is just so comfortable and it's ridiculous on the ball. So, yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. These are amazing. Like, the fit's awesome. I love they added suede to the heel. It's just an amazing pair of boots. So, I've got.
Have you found that any of the changes have been like negative? Is it all good stuff, or is some of it like, oh, maybe you didn't have to do that? Or I'm only asking this now because I feel like with it's the Alpha 2 thing, right? I'm a little bit like, I feel like they
seriously. Oh, same.
Okay. Here we go. So the Alpha 2 is a little bit disappointing for me because the stuff they did that they was the wrong direction. So are you feeling that here, or is it all good stuff?
Because I mean, the two main ones are like this suede lining and the new synthetic here, so it really wraps your ankle way better than the previous model. The older models had a tendency to feel stiff at times here, and I've even heard people get rubbing on the side, but no issues whatsoever. So yeah, these are. I mean, it's a Morelia. They really do their best not to screw this up because it's their bread and butter. So yeah, exactly. So
overall, really
I'm
positive stuff.
Removing the rivets, but it is what it is.
Is that just a weight thing? Is that just like,
cost.
Hey, our glue's good enough now? We're going to take the rivets out for weight.
Cost. It's not cost, really. It's for cost. And to be fair to them, when I met them like 8 years ago, they said the same thing. Like, we don't even need to rivet anymore. So they're finally removing it from all their boots. So we'll see.
I will say, seeing a rivet on the bottom of a boot in 2025, I'm kind of like,
yeah.
Do we need this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Potentially unnecessary.
I mentioned before, I had somebody. I feel like. Ahead. Sorry, Adam.
No. I just feel like we're kind of past it.
Yeah.
At this point,
I don't disagree.
So
I had, like I said last week, somebody messaged me and said they were pleased the rivets were gone because they could feel it underneath their feet. Because the rivets would come through the sole. They would pop out here.
Well, I mean, I have a pair of M8s, and I never wear insoles.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna notice that.
I never had a problem. Like, I never felt rivets with these. I've never experienced any of that. So that's it's new to me to hear. But yeah, like, as far as the M8s, and not to take away from the new, but like, yeah, they're great. Like, they're comfortable. It's leather, but like, is this my go-to, or am I going to reach for this? Yeah. No, absolutely not.
That's understandable.
So I don't know if that's changed anything for the updates that they've made.
I think for people who appreciate the boot but don't always go to this boot, it'll be the same.
Okay.
I think for some people, they'll really appreciate the changes. There has actually been a little war started over here because the biggest reseller here was talking about how this felt like the Elite model now and didn't feel as premium. And then somebody left a comment on a TikTok video for one of the other retailers, and this guy at that retailer, he's like their version of J-Mike, basically. And he's like, well, they're not an official retailer, so they're just saying that because they're annoyed because they can't get the boots. And so this reseller shot back, and then the retailer shot back, and then the reseller, they've been going after each other. And it's just like, y'all both are idiots. Just don't say a thing. But yeah, it's
over some boots.
It's
That's
just
crazy.
Well, to be fair, this is like the release of the year here. So this is like super important. We only get one new upgrade new upgrades every 5 years. So I can, but
it's a big deal.
I was just like, I have a buddy who used to work retail over here, and he's just like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "I think they should probably just shut the f up, both of them."
A couple of things coming through in the chat. Somebody has asked the question. I honestly read that as patio duck, but I think it's like petito duck. 1, 2, 3. Amazuno is starting to become overrated. I don't think that's the case. I think they're overpriced. I don't think they're overrated.
The Alpha is overrated. Alpha 2. All right, Adam, I want to hear this.
I don't know. I feel like there is a little bit to it. Because, I don't know, the Alpha 2, which I was just about to piggyback.
Do it, yeah.
I did receive these. And I've basically received every colorway of the Alpha 2. And I only have one pair of Alpha 1s in the Sergio Ramos colorway.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I mean, when it comes down to like how supple the upper is from the 1s to the 2, I mean, that's just like that'll be my main thing with any boot, really. And it's just not the same. And like taking out these today for the first time, like there's just too much grip on the boot. There's too much going on. Like I'm a pretty simple guy, and like when it comes to my boots, I want a thin, soft upper that I could put my foot into and go and not think about. And yeah, I don't care if it's slick. Like it comes down to like touch and like how you prefer things, of course. But like, yeah, I just feel like trying to do too much. At the end of the day, and yet I'm complaining about M8s being kind of like a little too traditional. And like,
no. Hey, look, it's like Goldilocks. You want to have a little bit to it, but not over the top.
Like, just like meet in the middle somewhere. And yeah, I don't know. I maybe they are becoming a little overrated at this point. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's harsh a little bit, I guess.
So, go ahead. No, James,
so go on, Andrew.
Please.
I was going to say, I don't think they're overrated, but I think what we have done is we've reached a point where people almost feel like they can't criticize Mizuno. It's not that they're overrated. It's like they've got this thing where it's like, oh, you can't criticize it because it's a Mizuno made in Japan product, for example. And then you do criticize it and people get like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, well, yeah, like there's some pearl clutching going on,
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think that's the problem. It's like they've got such a mythos that you can't criticize them. And maybe that is also being overrated, but I don't think that is necessarily the case. I still think they're developing great product. I think we just have to be brave enough as reviewers or whatever to say, hey, you know what? They missed with this one. Like this didn't quite do what it's supposed to. Now the Alpha 2, I still think is a good football boot, but I just think that it's not going to get anywhere near my kind of top 5 boots of the year. I'm pretty that's my thoughts on it. And funnily enough, though, our friends who have the Bootcast podcast, they did their top 3 boots of the year so far this week. So this is Justin, Texas Cleat Collector, Colby at Kicking It with Colbs, and Matt Burns Boots. They did their top 3 boots of the year so far, and all 3 of them had the Alpha 2 in their top 3. So like it's such a funny juxtaposition that they're all like, hey, like we love these boots, and these guys are, they're reviewers and they're big into their boots. They've got this great podcast, and then we're all sat here, like the 3 of us, going, Alpha 2 is just not it, man.
Justin likes the Predator Edge, so take that with a.
That's shocking. Actually,
every time.
This calls for debate, though. I mean, it's 3v3. Like
it is 3v3. It is 3v3. Chat for anybody who's tried the Alpha 2. Can we just get a thumbs up, thumbs down if you've tried it, so that we can get a rough gauge as to how we're feeling.
Clippy. We need people to criticize Adler. I've been fighting him like crazy on some stuff recently, and it's just like
The
yes, the
outsole.
outsole.
If I have
The
to say the
outsole
outsole
needs
one
to
more
get
time.
updated so badly. And I was talking to my because I work part-time for them, right? And I was talking to the boss, and I was just like, I don't want to be harsh, but we need to do something immediately. He's like, yeah, we're working on it, we'll get around to it. And I'm like, no, it's not get around to it, it's do it immediately. It's like, well, you know, this stuff takes time. And I'm like, I understand that, but you don't understand. We need to do this now.
He hit you with the corporate
Oh my
lingo.
gosh.
Absolutely. Jesus Football, another good friend of ours, has said that the Alpha 2 is currently his boot of the year so far. So mad,
Hey, like,
absolutely mad. We're slowly ending up being the minority, guys.
I mean, that's totally fine with me.
It is, of course, it is. Like, you know, it's like, everybody's got different opinions, and that's part of the beauty of what we do.
I think you bringing up is Mizuno overrated. The only thing that comes to mind is the Jay-Z lyric of "What would you rather be, underpaid or overrated?" And I think Mizuno has found themselves in that kind of juxtaposition in a way, and a little bit found out.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people have found out is go for the elite. Like, a lot of people have gone, oh, I'm not willing to pay that made in Japan money. Or hold on, they make great elite level products at way less, just buy the elite. I think a lot of people have discovered that, and more are discovering that as time goes on, with that made in Japan price just climbing to insane levels.
Yeah, I talked with J Mike at Unisport, and I showed him the pricing over here for Mizuno boots versus Europe. And he was literally like, what the and so he was here recently, and so I think him and his boss had a meeting with Mizuno about it. Like, what are y'all doing?
Andrew has created chaos.
That's fine.
Just to upset the chat and the people who don't know Andrew. Roughly, what do you pay for like Mizuno made in Japan product where you are in Japan?
What did I pay for these? Like $150, I think. Yeah, that's retail.
All right, well.
Exactly.
That makes
what it comes down, like, understandably, they're made in Japan. You're going to have shipping and taxes and everything. Sure.
Yeah.
But they're basically just charging retailers what the retail price is here. And
well, so if I was to go to for example, Pro Direct Soccer right now and go to pick up that exact pair of boots for me to buy, they'd be €350.
That's absurd.
I have a question. Is there any football boot that is worth €350?
No.
Honestly.
No. Absolutely
we
not.
had this chat about the Phantom remakes, right? Like,
I'm still a little salty. Not gonna lie.
Did you missed out?
Yeah, so I was in Denmark, the first drop, and I even was like contacting people I knew at Unisport the day before. Hey, you think you could just like put a pair aside? I'll pay. Like, it's not about it's not about getting something for on the side or like backdooring something. Just put one off to the side, 44.5. Oh yeah, I'll try. And then never heard anything. Woke up the morning, added to cart, paid, got a confirmation email, and then the next morning canceled order. There was a IT error or something. Then I spoke to some other people, and I won't name the retailers, but apparently they oversold their stock by like 500 units or something. So like, yeah, it was going on everywhere. And then at that point, I was over it, so I didn't really. And plus, I didn't care for the Hydra.
That's fair.
And they were impossible to get hold of. Really, they were very, very difficult to get. As I say this, speaking to the man who managed to get a pair.
DM me because they are available for resale here, but the resale prices here, obviously, because the yen is so weak, is way cheaper. So they're
okay.
above what
Yeah,
retail
I'll hit
is
you
in
up.
Europe, but they're not. Well, some people
Not by a
have
lot.
lost their mind, but not everybody has.
Yeah, I think I saw like 500
Yeah.
somewhere on some resellers, like 500 US.
Yeah, I've seen people wanting to get like 1,000 for them, and I'm just like, no.
That's crazy.
There's nothing. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a pair of football boots. Like it's a tool, right?
Like, I have unicorn boots, but am I going to pay that much for a unicorn? Hell no.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like so many of my things, specifically my boots, are like in so many different like places, countries.
I was going to
like,
say, dude,
I really
can't.
can't.
Are they like on a train trying to catch up to you constantly?
No, I think no. Like I wish it was like that, but I kind of like if I go somewhere and I know I'm going to be like returning, I kind of just leave whatever I came with, so that I know I have at least some stock there. But sometimes it just ends up like it's been there for a year plus. So.
Oh, that would drive me insane.
It's kind of like, yeah, but it's like you get like new boots whenever you do arrive, you know? I forgot you had these type of things.
Yeah. Totally see that. So that definitely, as the podcast has likelihood to do, went on a little bit of a tangent. So let's pull back to where we were heading. So Adam, just wanted to know, like, obviously, what are you wearing at the moment? What's your kind of pick? What's your favorite boot to put on right now? Like, what are you going with?
So yeah, I mean, I just showed off the Alpha 2s. Wore these for the first time. I did get the betas as well.
Nice. It's such a lovely colorway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely prefer these to the Alpha 2s. When I was in Denmark, I did pick up some Pred 25s.
That's a great colorway.
It is a great colorway, yeah.
I mean, the knockoff team guys.
There's that.
That's what I said. I said the same thing. I was like, why are these team guys in disguise?
Yeah, I mean, they're fine. That's my first Pred 25, so
okay.
There's something about looking down and seeing a tongue. So I've been wearing those as much as possible, and then because of you two,
oh God, what have we done?
Yes.
Hey,
it's spreading.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So I do have these extreme, like basically everything I ask for a boot is like, can I just put it on and go? I don't want to think about, and these definitely tick those boxes. So
absolutely.
Thank you to you two, and
I'm just glad you like them.
Just kind of like in the back of my head, persuading my next pickup. So yeah, that's kind of been, honestly, it's been the Pred 25s like the last week or two.
Absolutely understand that.
And then mixing into like the new Mizuno colorways. That's about it.
Nice, happy days.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just having a quick look through the chat here, just to see how people are feeling. A lot of Alpha 2 thoughts going on. Chris's Footy Kicks has the Alpha 1 Elite and says the Alpha 2 made in Japan. The difference is not worth the extra money. I think he's absolutely correct. Dandy here. I dislike that it's in March. The Alpha 2 is everyone's boot of the year, and now it's mid. Guys, come on. If you read Andrew's review, you watch my Alpha review, neither of us have ever said that the Alpha 2 is boot of the year material. Like, both of us were fairly critical of a lot of elements of that boot straight from the off. So that's how that is. Ashwin Daz, I will get to your question in a bit when we get to the Phantoms. And Farfetch Football wants to know if the Alpha 2 heel is the best in the industry, and I would say no, it's not.
No.
There we go. What are Andrew? You're obviously a big man for a heel. What are your heel choices for like great, well designed heels?
It is probably the X-Fly Pro 3 so far.
That would also be my answer, the X-Fly Pro 3. Adam, do you have anything like a preference for like a really solid heel fit?
Soft, like I wear, and I've heard, Andrew, you wear your boots quite tight as well. The reason I don't wear insoles is because I don't have the space to. So yeah, like something pretty soft. Like I honestly like the Under Armour Shadow 2s. Like,
Yeah.
there's pretty much nothing there.
I'm very impressed by how nice the heel is on theirs.
Yeah, so like things like that. Like, I don't want a lot of things going on.
Yeah,
that's fair. You not wearing insoles, Will? I assume he's still here. Ollie, the OC Boot blog. He is a man for not wearing insoles. He will very much appreciate that take. To not wear those as well. Okay, I suppose we will get to some more of your questions in the chat shortly. If you have questions specifically for Adam about boots, all football, everything, anything like that, do get them into the chat as well. And for now, I suppose we'll move on to what we have here, which is obviously the brand new Bantam 6 Elite
You're
High
waiting like
AG.
There's more words. So what is the name?
I'm like, why is there more words to the name of this? Because like, it feels like it should be simple. It's like a Phantom 6. Like that's a really nice, like short, succinct name, which I really enjoy. But then it becomes the Nike Phantom 6 Elite High like AG, and I'm like, oh, that's too much. So these arrived with me today. I haven't been out and played in them. I have had them on, kicked a few balls about, that kind of thing. And I put up what I've started to do. Some of you guys who watch a lot of the channel will notice is I've started to do a kind of first impressions unboxing review as quickly as I can, because I've been asked a lot for like early information. People have been like, what's the sizing like? All these things that I can tell you simply from having the boots. So I've started doing that. And then a month or so down the line, I'll do a full playtest review once I've been out on the pitch of them a few times, and then I'll get a full playtest review out. So anyway, mine went out, and this is the boot. There was a question just up there about why the high released before the low. It technically didn't. It depends what retailer you're buying from. Some retailers had just the high. Some retailers had both high options and one low option. Some retailers had no AG. It really depends where you were buying from. So I bought these from ProDirect, for example, which is how I got them so quickly, because I paid for next day shipping because I wanted to get the review out quickly. So I got these from ProDirect, but they didn't have the AG low or the FG low, but then you could get the low from Nike, which I ordered. So I ordered the FG low from Nike directly. It's a bit of a stock mess, but if you look around, you'll find
it's the same here.
It's very Nike.
It's the same here. So like the FG low does not release till next week, but the FG high and the AG low released a couple of days ago. So mine should have been here already. They're not. So
okay, fair enough. I suppose first thing, as they're kind of in hand and not just press photos here, etc. What are you guys' thoughts on the looks of these? Adam, any thoughts?
I'll be very honest. Like I haven't worn or probably even had a Nike boot in hand for over a year.
Okay.
You're not missing anything.
I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's like a testament to like what they're doing recently. But yeah, it's just like the ones who were innovating are not innovating anymore, and you just have to go elsewhere now. So
it does. I had this. This was something. Andrew will be back in a second, I'm sure. I assume he's just lost his signal. But we'll just continue without him for the moment. Yeah, I had this thought recently about how, like, so Nike's whole ethos is that they have to be like the innovators and they want to be the future. And you always kind of accepted that Adidas would maybe look back a little bit more, do a lot more of the nostalgia stuff. And it feels like Nike have either failed to innovate or stopped innovating because they're worried about how much money they can make, even more than they used to be. So now they're like, oh, we need to go back and we need to do this and we need to try and get as much. Hey, it's all right. He's back. There we go. And we need to try and get as much money as possible out of each individual kind of proprietary material we've got. And that feels like that's really holding them back from actually starting to develop something new. Like, this, from my initial impressions, is a good football boot. Like, the grip net, I think, is great, but we still have that problem whereby we've got grip net on this, we've got grip net on the Mercurial. That shouldn't be the case. Like, we're looking for Nike, of all companies, to be innovating and to giving us something new. So to give us essentially what is two different variations of how to knit a singular material, like, it's not really that exciting. To go for a design which is the same design that we've seen before, like, it is almost exactly the same ghost lacing system. There's nothing new there either.
Which is trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so one of the things that, like, I'm pretty positive overall about the boot in my initial my initial unboxing first impressions review. But one thing I do say is I don't like ghost lacing. I'm never going to like ghost lacing because it's pointless to me. Like, I don't need this bit of my laces covered in order to have to, like, you can't, like, you have to be able to pull that down. So what it actually does is it just stops you being able to adjust your laces properly, which is really annoying. And this design is probably better than what you got on the GX1, but in that being slightly better, it's also less flexible. It doesn't kind of stretch out as much. So it's even harder to adjust your laces and things like that underneath here. Which, yeah, so I don't love that at all. But I think it's an improvement. I think everything they've done to it is better than what they had before. Basically, my only downside, and I'm assuming this will be even more prevalent when I get the lows in, is that we've lost the one-piece upper. Like, I think the one-piece upper is very beneficial. I don't love having, like, the fly knit that runs all the way down here to then be covered over by the grip knit. And then on the low, we've, of course, got the grip knit with the same design as the GX1. What we were saying about not innovating, we've gone back to that GX1 design with it kind of, like, half covering over. I don't like that either. Because I think, well, surely a one-piece consistent touch across the whole boot just makes a lot more sense. So that's kind of like the downside. But on the whole, positive. I think fit is pretty good out of the box. Really no dead space. The change in the last is very good. The additional little bit of volume here, the shortening of the boot, it's all positive. They're not, again, I say the Alpha 2 is probably not going to be my boot of the year, or in my top 5 boots of the year. This probably isn't either, but I need to get out and wear it. I don't want to make big sweeping statements without actually, getting them on the pitch properly. I will say this is lovely. This is a very nice change, the outsole. So we've got this kind of conical build, all conical studs now. Really nice, nicely designed, especially through this 4-foot area. A little bit long in the back, but I think that also makes them a decent FG-AG option. Like, if you've got a nice FG pitch, you could definitely rock this. And it no longer is soft as hell through the middle. You got nice, stable midfoot and heel. Decent amount of responsiveness. Like, the upgrade on the outsole is fantastic. So not to give away all the thoughts on my my review. Everybody go and watch my review once this podcast has ended, because I have worked my absolute ass off today to get that out as quickly as possible. Everybody please go and watch that. But overall, my conclusion is it's going to be a great boot. A lot of people are going to like it. It's probably the best of the recent kind of run of GXs and such like. But do you need to rush out and buy it? Definitely not at these prices. You can still go out and pick up a GX2 on sale, and that's
and
that's the way to go.
Points there don't connect, do they, James?
Oh,
the little points!
Jesus Christ! I was trying not to get into this again. I point this out in the review. Like, I can't. So for anybody who doesn't know or hasn't heard me get upset about this, it's so dumb, but it really annoys me. So the knit here, the black piece of knit, does not connect to this taping that covers up the seam. It's like poorly kind of put together, and it's the same on both sides. So you can see here, this
like
one
a mile away on the
so
other
this
side.
doesn't connect at all. It's a walk. Like, what is this? Like, this doesn't connect at all, and this looks like it should connect, but they missed like 4 stitches, and it's like, obviously it doesn't affect the boot, but It really upsets me. Like,
Yeah.
why? It's
And
so dumb.
The double swoosh on the lateral side is obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one I don't mind. I would get rid of this one though, or keep this one and get rid of this one. Like do one or the other. Like I think it's fine to have that, but both of them is completely unnecessary. Absolutely agree with that.
Can I just say I'm done with the reverse swoosh like Travis Scott reference thing? Like, can we stop this at all costs, please?
No, they paid the money for that collab, and they want to make sure they get all the money they can out of it.
Like, talk about like one trick.
It's so.
I don't know.
It is kind of a one-trick pony, isn't it? Just the reverse swoosh.
Like, that's what makes things interesting now, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. This swoosh on this side as well, while we're pointing out negative things. Like I say, I'm generally positive about the boot, but you can absolutely feel this. If you just like side foot hit a ball, you can absolutely feel this swoosh all the way through against your foot, and to the point where I don't think I've ever had this before, where if you put your hand inside the boot, you can actively feel that on the inside. Like there it is imprinted on the inside of the boot. It's very stupid.
That is.
This one doesn't, you can't even feel it on the inside with your hand, but that one you can. So I've kind of gone through all the negatives. Like I say, I am generally positive about the boot, but this is what happens when I get on a podcast with Andrew. Then we start talking about Nike boots. I get aggressively annoyed about things. But that's pretty dumb.
Do you think you both hold Nike to a higher standard?
No.
And it's just not meeting that standard?
No,
but
Andrew definitely doesn't.
In relation to, say, like 2014 Nike lineups,
right?
No.
I've never held them to a higher standard.
Oh, okay.
Because I worked retail for close to 10 years, so if you work retail long enough, especially in the position I was in, you learn to really hate Nike just on a deep, deep level.
Andrew Schwartz's manifesto.
Oh my god, I would have so much right. They do not like me, and I do not like them. Like, I've said this before, the first Maestri was so bad with durability that I was like, I'm just going to start posting photos unless you take our returns, because, like, 50% of the pairs we got back were defective. And, like, when the first Hypervenom released, yeah, they were great. But so many tore within that first month.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't have any on me right now. Don't come after me. I have no Nikes. I have none of that. So.
The remakes are way better, though. I'll say that.
Well,
so when I'm saying a Nike boot is good,
you know it's good.
It means something. Yeah.
Yeah, if Andrew says a Nike boot is good, you know he means it. Like that is big. I'm just going to jump into the chat here. There's a few things going on. Footloose Boots asks Adam, do you have the Shadow Elite 3 with the Magnetico sole plate? Do you have them with a different sole plate to normal? He feels like he might have seen that on your page.
I don't know if I'm allowed to, but yes.
That's awesome.
We're all jealous because everybody wants that combination. Like that's the combination that everybody wants, is to get rid of that the kind of the normal carbon infused bladed sole plate and put that Magnetico one instead. Yeah.
You know what the crazy thing is here? There's 2 players in the J League who now wear that boot. The boot is not sold here at all.
Interesting.
But even they have the Magnetico plate on theirs. And it's like
I might know the guy who probably sourced those, but yeah.
Oh god, you're gonna have Footloose Boots getting at you. He is obsessed with that boot. Going back in, Ashwin Das asks if I'll be getting the Phantom 6 lows, which I will, and maybe if it'll be boot of the year. At this, like, I can tell you it will not be boot of the year. I can tell you that already. Will it make the top 5? I need to go and play in them. I can tell you right now it will not be boot of the year, and I will spoil my end of year my boot of the year awards, because unless something magic happens, it will be the DS Lite X-Fly Pro 3. Like, that is just what is going to happen. Ollie says insoles are pointless, which is very true. And hold on. Oh, okay, interesting. Patio Duck asks, am I ever going to drop the review on the carbon fiber inserts you teased in one of your videos? I was interested. Eventually, probably. The whole concept of that review was that I was trying to fix the Tiempo Legend 10 Pro, which I hate with a fiery passion. And I put some extra lace holes in so I could put a runner's loop in, and I bought some full-length carbon fiber inserts to put into the boot to try and stiffen up the outsole, but it kind of went too far and it was a bit much. So I need to kind of come up with another solution, but I will probably drop that at some point for sure. And I did see here here we go. Dandy's description of these. It looks like a glittered up puddle of vomit, a mashup puddle of Katy Perry and Kesha throw up from 2009. I think that's an impressive.
Wow.
Morelia Proto is up there for boot of the year as well. So that's a really good.
Yeah, there we go, for sure. A complete blackout in the AG lows would look extremely classy. Waiting for that. Yeah, I'm sure there's a full blackout coming.
You'll get it.
Yeah, there'll be a blackout.
You won't just get one.
Out.
You won't just get one. You'll get two.
Man, if there's like, I swear to God, I don't. You know what? The thing I really don't want. It's going to happen, but I really don't want this. Is Nike will need to drop a blackout in these. That's fine. We expect that. Not a problem. The issue comes that they will drop a blackout in these as a full pack with another blackout in the Tiempo and another blackout in the Mercurial. And we'll end up with now 3 blackout Tiempos and 2 blackout Mercurials just because they have to drop it as a pack. Don't. Just drop these in black. It's fine. You don't have to do a full pack every single time.
Is anyone else over the whole blackout thing?
Yes.
I've never been on the train. Blackouts are not my jam. Not my jam at all.
I think blackouts were cool when you had to send them away to get them done, and they weren't official releases. And now there's a release of a blackout, like you said, probably every 6 months or something. So
I also think it was. I think it was still cool when, for example, to use Nike as an example, Nike pretty much in January would always drop the Academy pack. And it was a singular blackout pack that they would drop. And all their boots, blackout, once, there it is. And it was the Academy pack for the Academy level players,
exactly.
Not Academy level boots, but there's this idea that, the Man United players, for example, it was always they have to wear the black boots in training and things.
Dare I say, a bit of storytelling for once.
There we go. Yeah, just by the simple use of Academy pack, it was storytelling, and it was dropped at the beginning of the year, and you could have those boots to run you through the whole 12 months. Makes an awful lot of sense. And you know what? Something we haven't spoken about for a while. I think it's something we should speak about. And I'm going to let you go first, Adam, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But it is storytelling, because we're looking at these, right? And even what's the story? What's the story to this boot? It's just it's a new boot and it's a colorway. Why is it this colorway? Why is it designed like this? What's the story? There isn't one. And it's such a shame. We so rarely get a story. And you brought it up, Adam. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And
but then you have the complete opposite of that, and you have a brand like Adi, who is solely based on nostalgia and regurgitating the same story. So it's where's that middle ground, right? Or where does it start to make sense? And yeah, I don't know. I think with the amount of releases that are happening, I don't think there's not enough time to tell a story, or if there is a story, it's not going to be a good enough one, or something that the consumer or anyone actually feels or gravitates towards. So yeah, I don't want to say everything is lost, but I don't know. I don't know how it slows down so that there is some thought put into these things. But yeah, I mean, I spoke to a brand a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how right now we're just focusing on growth, and we'll worry about like the legacy when we get to a point to where we feel as though we have the time to. And I'm just
My
stressing
God.
that like this is your legacy now.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
you're doing right now is 10 years from now you will look back at, and you can use this as, you know, your history, your story, or something to play off of. And yeah, I guess that just kind of like speaks to where we are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. It's too much short-termism.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's just get this out. We'll be able to make some bucks off of it, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
for sure. And like we, you know, that again, talking of Nike, the Hypervenom remakes that we just got, lots of hype, huge deal, you know, iconic. That's you know, that's your history, that's your legacy. In 10 years' time, is anybody looking for a remake of the launch colorway of the Phantom 6?
I hope
No,
not.
they're not. Like it's not. It's it's just not going to. I will say, like Matt's made a good point in the chat here. He says there's no story with the new Phantom 6, but the marketing was outstanding. I do agree. A lot of the marketing materials they put forwards were excellent, but I think this is a good example of like a disconnect, because yes, the marketing material they put out was great, but why, if you're going to go for this big like almost Predator-esque kind of, you know, idea with the spikes on the bottom of the boot and this like animalistic kind of style, why drop it in like an aqua blue, green, and orange? Like, surely if that's the story that you're telling, it's this brand new, like really, you know, it's a Phantom, they've gone with an actual like animalistic, aggressive approach. Why is it not like red and black? And, you know, why does it not tie together? And I think a lot of it is
it'd make more sense if it was tiger striped or something versus that.
Right. Anything. Like anything. Like, this is weird. Like, why? Oh yeah, it's so animalistic and aggressive. We just put a blinged orange swoosh down the side.
Yeah.
Or just reverse.
Yeah, but in reverse. In reverse. Yeah, absolutely. That's very funny.
I mean, the day that Nike doesn't drop like a pretty good advert, like they are a marketing machine. Like
absolutely,
Nike does what Nike does. So yeah,
Nike is a marketing company that sells shoes.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
100%.
Yeah, but is it kind of their a bit of their ego that like we could put something like this out but make it look really cool, and then like we know it's gonna buy, like people are gonna buy that, no problem. So like I guess credit to them in a way to like get there. So
it's something interesting actually. I was talking to Footloose Boots about this earlier in the week, and he had mentioned that there was potentially like an uptick in like a certain video starting to get views for him. So I was obviously watching the trends as they go through, and we were talking about that, and I said, like, it's interesting that if I go through my analytics of the videos that are getting views and stuff, we all sit here and kind of say like a little bit like, oh, Nike's falling off, Nike's falling behind Adidas, like Adidas are like becoming the number one of the big two and that kind of thing. And if you go through my top 10 videos for the last year of what's been viewed, which is mainly going to be driven by search, 8 of them are Nike boots. Like, it still holds that level of like, oh, it's a Nike boot, I must see it, I must have it, I must know about this, to the point where it's still, like it's exactly what you just said. They can almost drop whatever they want. Like they can almost do whatever they want and it will still sell. There's a story. I'm not gonna be able to remember the band or the song, and it's gonna ruin my story. But anyway, in the 80s, I think it was the 80s, there was essentially a should we say a disagreement between like Simon Cowell and another music producer. And this other music producer basically said, I can get anything to number one, like anybody, anything, any song, because it wasn't about the product. It was about how well it was put out. So he took these 2 girls who I don't remember their name and gave them this like utter, like stupid pop bullshit song and got them to number one, basically to prove the point. Like, And that's very much the Nike approach of, meh, doesn't really matter. Like,
We're still going to sell the boots.
People will buy it anyway. Like,
You got to respect it though.
yeah,
At the same time,
we are hoping.
As much as I talk shit, like respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they've kind of built up enough to earn the right to be able to get away with that. But we do hope that obviously then with a lot more brands coming to market, that's going to change, right? We see Adler growing, we see TLSS in the market, we see Sakito in the market. Sakito obviously making an incredible boot as well. Like that, you're hoping that you can start to push people towards something else, or people start seeing other options. But again, speaking of views, which is a good way to, in my opinion, to view kind of popularity, Andrew and I only spoke this week about how our TLSS reviews did nothing. Nobody watched them.
My Tactician review actually ended up doing okay.
Oh, my Libero review did nothing.
That Libero review for me did nothing. Yeah. Their laceless boot, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see like these other brands popping up, but I just don't. I don't think there's going to be a change unless
Not for a while.
I think it will come from Nike making a massive mistake, or Adi or whoever, which they're not going to. Yeah. They're machines. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, almost a too big to fail kind of situation, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was interested, so I checked my stats from last year, and I only have 2 Nike reviews in my top 10.
Interesting.
It is dominated by Adi and Mizuno.
Interesting.
With one A6
review. Okay. Speaking of brands and doing crazy things, there was another boot that dropped this week that we haven't even spoken about yet. So we should get to it, or another pack of boots, should we say? We should get to it, which is this one here. I figure we have about 10 minutes left of the regular podcast. Then we'll go to our members only chat, and we should cover these. So these are obviously a fashion collab with Kid Super, and it's a hand drawn design across Puma's 3 main lines: bright pink Ultra, eyes all over the future, and then basically a hand drawn black and highlighter yellow king. I'll say something controversial. I quite like both the future and the Ultra.
You would.
I don't think they're bad looking boots, but I love a bright boot. Like, I think the King's terrible. I think the King is really bad here. But I think they're both really good looking boots. I like them. I would wear both of those. Adam, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean it's Kid Super, New York base. So I saw like the rollout and everything, and yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's like nothing that haven't seen before from Puma or Kid Super.
It is very Kid Super. Like, it's very like noticeable that it's that kind of design.
And like, I guess on the contrary, out of the 3, I think the Kings are like the most interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, not much else to really talk about for me.
And Andrew, how much do you hate all of them?
I literally could not care less. The kits actually...
I'm kind of on that.
Huh?
I'm with you on that.
The kits are actually pretty cool, some of them, but it's just
the kits are very nice. Yeah, there's a few really nice kits.
But it's just Puma.
It's all a bit tired, I think.
I think part of the problem.
Unique, when everything is unique, there's nothing that's unique.
Yeah, it does feel like trying too hard.
I think part of Puma's problem is if they'd have dropped this as one of like their 4 packs this year, 5 packs so far this year or something, then it would be interesting and it would be cool and it would be a new thing. But this has to be probably the 10th Ultra or more that we've seen. It's the 5th or 6th Ultra we've seen in the last 8 weeks. Like that's that's absolute overkill. So it does make people like, Adam, you're exactly right. Go like, why do I care? Like, why should I care? Like, meh. And also in the, I can't give the date, but in the knowledge of when they're going to drop an updated version of the Ultra, this is even more ridiculous. So funnily enough, I will tell this. I'll tell this story. So a few of you, particularly people on the live, will have probably seen that I dropped a Puma Ultra review on Monday for the brand new Ultra 6. I can't show you them now because I'm not allowed to. So I dropped this review on Monday, and this was a miscommunication. I got these boots from LJ Collects. Good friend of ours, really nice guy. Love LJ, great content. Go check him out. And LJ got the boots from Puma, and Puma said to LJ, I've seen the messages. Puma said to LJ, basically, do what you want with them. Like, there was no NDA, there was nothing. It was like, hey, here are the boots, go make content. Which LJ did. He put out content. There's you can go and check them out on his page right now, where he's showing the boots off, like he's wearing them in things. And then LJ sent me the boots. I did a full review on them, like a full 12, 13-minute full breakdown, play test, the works. Went in on this and put the review out. And then Puma got in touch with LJ and went, could you ask Boot Wizard to take those down? Then take that down. They're not due to be released yet. And LJ is kind of like, yeah, but you said it was fine. And essentially what it's come down to is they were completely fine with the boots being shown and used for content. So like if you were, for example, you, Adam, if you were making a video of like a training and you were wearing them, this was okay. But they didn't want, for example, me or, another reviewer anyway, doing a full up close, like tear down of exactly what these boots were. And I was positive about them because I like the Ultra. But they were still like, yeah, so don't do that. So I had to take the video down. The video lasted about just under 48 hours before it got removed. I've left it up as members only, so like members can see it. And then, so that will go back up on launch day for the new Ultra 6, which is quite soon, which makes the Kid Super release even more dumb because it's like you're like the space is very small. That's probably what I could say, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Why? My question is, why wouldn't Puma just contact you directly?
One great question. I don't actually know.
We're beneath them.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the audacity.
So I'm assuming there's two reasons. One being that I directly credit LJ in the video, so they're like, okay, I know where I got the boots from, so they went straight to LJ. Like in the first minute of that video, because I wanted to give huge props to him for helping me out get these boots. I was like, go follow LJ Collects. He got me the boots. He's great. So that's probably point one. And the other being that, yeah, they probably don't want to talk to me. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? I've never spoken to Puma. I have no relationship with them at all through any like intermediary or anything. So I assume for them it was a lot easier to go to LJ than to come to me.
Well, I feel they probably need all the help they can get, so they should contact Boot Wizard.
But the thing is, it does
struggling.
What I did say was so this does mean that they either watched the channel or found the video somehow. So somebody either sent it to them or, something. Like, so they are aware of me, you know what I mean? Which I was like, okay, that's kind of cool a little bit. And they've seen this video, which is great from maybe a building relationship point of view, because I was quite positive about these boots. But then my next thought was, crap. If they have been like aware of my channel, that means they also saw my Future 8 review. which my kind of breakdown of that was burn them all. It's the worst thing that's ever existed. So that probably didn't help.
Hey, that doesn't always burn bridges. I mean, I was at a launch event for the Hypervenom 2, and they had us like with the boots in hands, like, what do you think? And this English guy I worked with, he's like, yeah, they're shit, aren't they? And it's just like, yeah. You could have been a bit more diplomatic about how you put that, but yeah, I'll stand by that.
Could have
just in the background.
Could have sugarcoated it a little bit.
It's like standing next to me, so I'm just like,
I would have started coughing. He fell to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But to be fair, I received the ruby red Mizuno pack like I don't know how many days before, and usually I get an email, like a week out, and basically the press release, right?
Yeah.
And didn't get an email. They were sitting here for I don't know 3-4 days, and I was like, all right, I'll just put up a story, and like. Yeah, Mizuno's account like DMs me. Those don't release for like a few days. Would you mind? I was like, yeah, not bad, man. Like, send an email. Like, I don't know.
For you of all people, you'd think they'd want to have more open communication with you about that stuff, right?
I mean, I've never missed. Like, I get an email every time before I even receive anything from them. I have an email probably minimum 2 weeks, and. Yeah, these just showed up. Or I just got the UPS email that something was coming to the address, and yeah, these showed up. Had no idea what they were. Like, I was like, "Oh, hey, sick!" Like
that's
red,
probably their most
red
important
Mizunos.
release of
like,
the
hey,
entire
cool.
year.
And there's no email.
Like, yeah, and then I'm just like, "Hey, these are cool," and then like me like being like a dickhead, like. Taking photos and like posting them, but yeah.
I mean that's real, but at that point, that's not on you.
No.
I don't think they're mad about it. I really don't care either.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think like with the Puma thing. I don't think Puma are mad about it. I think it was just like a case of it was badly communicated by Puma what could happen, and they asked for it to come down, and it came down. Like I don't think anybody's mad about it. Yeah.
I've covered Mizuno stuff for years, and that goddamn event it's still gonna drive me insane. I'm gonna lose my mind.
You weren't invited? You couldn't go?
No.
Wow.
I had so many retailers like J Mike DM'd me, Sport Leader in Italy DM'd me, and a couple other stores DM'd me. It's like, hey, I'll see you there, right? I'm like, no. I had to enter the lottery just like a normal pleb.
Wow.
And there was you were saying there was so few spaces in that lottery as well.
There was 20 spaces for the entire country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like chances very, very slim.
Yeah.
Okay, what we will do is we will take this one final question, which has come in, and then we will switch over to our members chat. We will go members for kind of around 15 minutes. So members, get your questions ready, and then we'll just have a little bit of a chat. So this last question comes from Farfetch Football, which is a very simple question, which would like to know, Adam, what size do you wear in the Mizuno Morelia Neo? Because he's also usually a 44.5 in Nike boots. So what would you wear in the Morelia Neo?
44.
44. There you go. There is your
28.5.
Yeah, use the centimeter sizing. And if you're not using the centimeter sizing, go and watch my sizing video.
Yeah, definitely.
Pluggity plug.
Justin.
What has Justin said? Oh my God. All right. You know what? That is a perfect moment to switch over to the members chat. So thank you everybody for watching. Please head over to AFE_football. Have I got that right? Yep.
Yes.
To go and check out all football, everything across multiple platforms. They do an insane amount of stuff, all the way from training to just some entertainment stuff. Get in contact if you are interested. Really worth talking to. I want to give Adam a huge thank you for joining us today. That has been a really enjoyable chat, Adam. Thank you very much. Adam is foolishly going to stay for the next kind of 10 or 15 minutes for the members only chat as well. So
can't wait.
Everybody be respectful.
Do you want to plug the kit you're wearing right now?
Yes, please, please. Sorry, we forgot to do this. I will put something at the beginning of the video as well. Please plug the kit.
Yeah, this is Generation Gaza. It's some friends that started a brand in Copenhagen, Denmark. They send a lot of support to Gaza and everything going on there. And yeah, just really good people and for a good cause, of course.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I will
Love it.
leave the link in the description when I
be
put
sure to
this
send it for sure.
when I put this up live on YouTube. So I'll put the link in the description there, and we can have that just pinned so that anybody can go and find that, and we will go from there, I think. Obviously, check out Lockout Boot Blog as well. Check out Andrew's channel. What's the next review we're expecting, Andrew?
This
Morelia?
one should be up in a couple days.
Morelia review coming very soon. And of course, you are on the Boot Wizard channel. So do remember to like this video, get subscribed, because if not, you've been sat here for an hour and 5 minutes looking at my face without subscribing. What are you thinking? Members, thank you very much. If you want to become a member, you can click a link somewhere on the page right now to do so, which will mean you can continue on with this chat. So I will now smoothly as ever switch this over to a members only chat, which never actually is very smooth because it takes me too long and I have to talk like this to try and make it look like I know what I'm doing. Done. There we go.
Nice.
Okay.